Hi guys, Divine and Supreme Rising. I will say wealthy rising as well, because it is a wealthy rising for me, for you, and for all of us around, however you see it. I know that we are coming to you guys a little day late, but we ain't never late. We're right on time, baby. Here we are at Conscious Talk. We are talking about the year nine. We're talking about the 9-9 portal. We're talking about the total lunar eclipse, the blood moon that just recently happened, the energies that was brought upon the earth, the atmosphere in those times. So we want to give our little spin on these energies here in Conscious Talk. So I want to kick it off, sis, with us talking about the year nine, because we're talking about it is a complete 9 year, guys. It's a complete 9. 2025 equals 9, sis. And with the 9 year comes with completion, wisdom, universal love, endings, reflections, new beginnings, transitions, humanitarianism, spiritual growth, inner reflection, and healing. There's so much more. So I'm going to pass the mic to my sis so she can tap in on this. I do have some historical events that I do want to share within the 9 years that happened in the past. So sis, pass the mic to you, sis.
Okay, so today, like she said, we're going to talk about the nine. This year was a 999 year, um, a year of letting go, reflection, transformation.
Ashe.
It's time for you to reflect on your why. It's not, it's letting go of what no longer serves you. It's transforming that which doesn't look the way you want it to. But the biggest one for me is reflection.
Ashe.
It's time for us to reflect on any loose ends, any for the past 8 years, and what we want to transform it into for the following next 8 years.
Mhm.
So, um, if you look in your understanding of who you are, getting to know yourself, this is a great time to start your spiritual journey
Okay.
with reflection, because this isn't really a year for us to start new projects. But what it is a year is to reflect on the old ones, finishing up the ones that we have left open and pulling those into the following year, starting next year with a new clean slate, not having to tie up loose ends. So this is the year that you're going to tie up your loose ends. You're going to understand yourself a little bit more, and you're going to ask the question of, what is my why? And is it serving me in the way it should be? Because if it's not, then it's time for you to sit down, do some meditation and reflect on that, and then bring it all together.
Ashe, sis. So pretty much we're finishing what we start, pretty much, sis. And
Yes, 8 years ago.
I love that. I love that. I love that, sis.
Yeah, so when you're looking at these, it's your planetary placements of your personality. To give you three, it's going to be your ascendant, your sun, and your Mars. You're going to look at those, and that will give you some understanding of the reflection that's going on. Your sun sign is always going to be a big one, and if you can figure out what your progressed sun sign is, then you can see the changes that are already being made or have been made. With the lunar eclipse and the 9-9 portal coming hand in hand with each other, the lunar eclipse in Pisces brings surrender. It brings spiritual culminary, which means it's just time for you to go through your spiritual practice and understand, okay, this is working, that's not working. How do I strengthen this over here? How do I get these to go? To do the things that I want them to, because the universe has basically closed one door and now it's forcing you to walk through a new door and say, we'll have new beginnings come next year.
So, sis, when you say your progressed sun, if someone were to ask, how do they find their progressed sun in order to do this?
So what you'll do is you'll have to pull up your birth chart first. And once you pull up your birth chart, it'll show you the degree of your sun in your blueprint of your birth date. And there's 29 degrees, or you could say 30 degrees. Some people say 30, but 29 plus the 00. So 29 degrees, depending on where you are, count all the way over and see how many degrees. We move 1 degree in our sun each year, or you can go to do a birth chart, and I know that there is a few of them that will give you your progressed birth chart so you can see where your sun and your moon sits now, because that energy also reflects on your personality, which is the blueprint of your birth chart.
Ah, Shay, blueprint. Taking my notes too, family.
It's funny because we're in basically we've moved through Aries in the 0 0. People don't understand, I guess, Pisces and Aries. One is the end and one is the beginning. And this one was in Pisces and some Aries as well. And
Yeah,
with that, it means that there's an end of something, but the beginning of something else. And that's what made this a 999 portal, because we've got all this energy
okay.
that is very brand new, being at 0 0 degrees Aries at the beginning, or the earlier parts of the year, going out of Pisces, coming in Aries, and that 0 0 point is death and rebirth.
Ashe, and it's the fact that you said it was in Aries, and I was just telling you, I was like, looking at, numerology, because that's something that I study. The number 9 is a masculine sign, and it's ruled by the planet Mars, and Aries is the sign that it's ruled by. So a lot of passionate action, energy, like, it's a
Ooh,
lot.
I don't know
Yeah.
about passion, but yeah, Mars is the planet of war. Mars likes to argue. Mars
Yeah.
likes to, it's
It's
fast
very
moving
fiery
energy.
sometimes, yeah.
It's what?
I said they can be fiery at times too, as they're
Can be? No, they are fiery.
yeah,
They're supposed to be. Your fire signs are supposed to be fast moving energy, but you have to understand the negatives and the positives. And that's what we're seeing now in society. And that's why people are like, oh, the energy, the energy, the energy. What do
yeah,
I do with it?
yeah,
You learn to pull that energy in and use the positive parts of the energy. And that's exactly why you need to understand the zodiac sign and
yeah.
the planetary
Align.
actions, because they have both positive and negative. And we, coming out of the Pisces era, we believed that we were all good no matter what we did,
Mm,
not understanding that what looks good to you might not look good to me. And the dark side of that is your shadow side, and understanding that your ego is basically the one that you're trying to understand. So in these moments of high energy or high impact energy, you want to be able to take that energy and transform it from dark or shadow into the light understanding. Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. And when sis was talking about this Aries energy, the action, the war and stuff like that, when she was mentioning that energy, I went back and I did some historical digging, what was, history like in other 9 years. And I went back all the way to 1944. And I was able to go back and see, like, that was when the World War II was taking place in 1944. 1953, we got the Korean War ending, and then we got the North Sea flood. 1962, we got the Cuban Missile Crisis. 1970, like each year, there is some sort of breakdown, a destruction going on within the 9 years. So pay close attention to that, because we're in the 9 year. What destructions do you see happening now, not just in society, but within yourself? So pay attention to that. I was watching a podcast where a young lady was saying, if you really want to reflect from one 9 year to another, go back to 2016. And she mentioned, what were you doing in 2016 versus now? How does life look for you? Reflect from there and see where you go from that. So wanted to share that, guys, because with that 9 energy, it's just so powerful, and you can see the destructions, through your physical eyes, as well internally as well. You can feel it. You can definitely feel it, but just know it's not nothing bad. I don't necessarily see it as a bad thing. I see it as a thing of a new beginning. You're starting fresh, clean slate. So like sis said, take care of those projects that you left unfinished, because when you get to start it, you never know what it's going to look like next year. You might be making a leeway for new projects for next year
No,
because
that's exactly what you are. It's not a might. It's a definite. Yep, it's a definite. So nine is to, like you said, reflect and transform, let go of what's no longer there because you're closing the door on that old cycle and you're opening a door to start a new one. So this is definitely a good time for transformation. All the transformations that ever took place in the 9 years, a lot of times we weren't even aware of. The people who were aware of were the astrologists, the astrologers, the people who were tracking the planets and the stars and understand this is an old practice. This is nothing new. But for some of us on our levels, it's new because there's been other things that kept us distracted. So definitely transform what's supposed to move into something new for next year.
so, and I also want to put this out there, family. My verbiage is differently from everyone else. So I do apologize in advance if I say might or whatnot. Just want to put that out there. This is my verbiage. Understand that I'm
It's no need to
not.
apologize, sis.
I know, but I want people to get my mess. I want people to understand my message. And I
Right.
want it to be confusing. I want to be able to be heard as well, too.
Of
So
course.
I have something to share. So I don't want my verbiage to confuse anybody because what I'm sharing is just as important as anybody else. So I wanted to,
Right. She's just as relevant and we came here to be unapologetically who we are.
yes.
So if I come in and I say something like definitely transformation, that's not you giving out unconflicted information. That's you giving your information and me coming behind you and giving more.
Yeah, yeah, I noticed, but with my verbiage and stuff like that, I use words differently than others, and it can
It's
be
okay.
confusing. So I want to make that clear, and I want to let people know I'm very solid on what I feel too. So
Yes.
just so y'all know, just so y'all, I want to apologize in advance. So I'm gonna continue to do what I do best, but just know, understand the message is positive and it's to help you. And I'm very passionate about helping people as well. So if I get you confused, please let me know. Let me know, and I'll work on it, and we'll go on for there. So just wanted to put that out
We're
there.
good. Keep going on with what you were saying.
I was just talking about the different events in the different 9 years and stuff like that, and to pay attention to those different events. What I say in 2016 for myself, 2016, I became a mother. Not necessarily a mother, but I was conceived with a child. Let's say that. I remember I had just lost my aunt. I had just came back from her funeral. And I was like, man, something's wrong with me. Like my body, I could feel something was wrong. And I went back on boats and found out that I was pregnant. I was like maybe a month or two pregnant, and then I had just lost my aunt, and I was looking it up, and I realized, all of that happened within a 9 year. And I'm like, man, a lot of people could be going through, new pregnancies or losing family members and stuff like that. So I wanted to share that with you guys because that was the biggest transformation for me. Not just losing my aunt, but becoming a mother. I'm about to be somebody's mom. Me? And sometimes I look at her till this day and I'm like, God, I'm somebody's mom. I'm like, oh my God, I'm somebody's mom. What was 2016 like for you, sis?
I don't really remember. It's my life has been it just seems like it's been all nines for a while. So um can't tell you what 2016 looked like, but I do know in that time frame there was a lot of transition, a lot of change,
Mhm.
um, a lot of movement.
Yeah.
And I was in a different headspace in 2016 versus now. So
And you can
that
definitely see
person,
the transition from then to now.
yeah, I can see a transition from last year to now.
Yeah.
That's how strong this is for me.
Yeah.
Last year's me and this year's me, totally different mindset, totally different understanding just in one year. So going back to another 9 year, I wasn't on a spiritual path. I was completely gulfed in my religion at the time. I was moving in that purpose. So to be able to go back and say these big things happened, they didn't. Um, yeah, significantly, it was a lot, but there was so much going on that it's all blurred in a whole vision of that's not even who I am. I don't even look the same. So.
I love that, sis. I love that, sis. We also talked about the 9/9 portal, which was September 9th as well, making it solidify that 999 power. And in 9/9 portal, again, nine endings and completions, new beginnings, transformations, manifestations. Let me talk about manifestations real quick. I know a lot of people wanted to manifest, and that's cool and stuff. But I want y'all to understand a part of manifesting your manifestation is to release. You have to let go what no longer serves you. Get rid of the old so the new can come in. If you're not doing that, you're not making room for the new to come in. So, yes, release, manifest, and all of that stuff. But remember to allow yourself to release that stuff so the manifestations can come in. And I also want to put this out here too, sis, because I know we talked about this too. So I was looking up the prefixes of the months, November, October, December. We all learned in school that octo meant 8 and stuff. Getting deep, diving deep on my little spaceship. And I come to find out November actually means the 9th month. And I wanted to ask you guys this. How do you feel about 999 actually being in the month of November? I just want you guys to sit with self on that and just ask yourself about that. Just want to intrigue your mind. Just a little fun fact right there. Just a little fun fact. So go ahead, sis. I'm rambling.
Oh no, you're good. You're definitely good. I don't know, like we discussed that one already.
Yeah.
So I'm not versed in those. I do know what the prefixes mean. I'll have to go and check in on that one a little bit more. Um, but just understand that, like, whatever doesn't serve you energetically right now, spirit's going to move it out anyways.
Sure.
So whether it's on a societal level, whether it's on an internal level, it's going to be moved out of your way.
Sure.
Because whatever is not supposed to go into next year, it's not going to go. And it's just going to, so if you experience any type of, if you look and you think you're seeing hardships, it might not be a hardship. We look at these things as, oh my God, this is happening
Yeah.
to me when it's actually happening for you. When one door closes,
Mhm.
if you track, and I would implore you to sit down and write the times that you thought the door closed and then go behind it and see what happened as well, because life is like a heartbeat. We
Yes.
live a series of ups and downs, and it's through the hardships that we learn. And I'm going to always put this out here. The hardships is our blessings in disguise, because when they come in, like a 9 year that's pulling stuff down, and we're seeing all these big changes and we're freaking out about it. And oh my God, where do I go from here? My answer to you, or even a question to you, would be, where do you want to go from here? If you're allowing society to tell you what to do, then and you want to break away from that, then this is the time to start reflecting on what society doesn't serve for you and how you can serve yourself in your own essence. So it's the problem up against the solution. When you see a problem, it's easy to complain about it. We complain. That's all we do is
Yeah.
complain.
That's
You
all.
come to a person like me complaining, and the first thing I'm gonna say is, okay, you have your complaint. What's your solution?
Come on now.
So the 9 year is not a year of anything that should be ill brought or negative looked at. You should look at it in a positive understanding. Okay, I tried to walk through that door closed in my face. Not meant for me.
Yeah. Some
Not meant for
some
me.
of it is your protection.
Say
When
that again.
I said some of it is your protection when the doors close. Some of them is your protection.
Yes. When when you want something so bad, but then you get distracted from it, then that's when you start to see things change.
Right,
We
right.
have to learn to make better decisions for ourselves in the moment. But a lot of times, the way society has things is it's quick, fast. You need it now, today, because they created a time space reality that puts us in a crunch.
Now, sure.
So, in this year of the nine, learning about a year of the nine on top of a lunar eclipse, which opened a whole nother portal for you to be able to, and this is a 2 week portal that's going to be open until the solar eclipse. And then after that, you'll deal with that energy. But this is all the time to release, reflect, understand, consult with spirit, meditate, get yourself in a position of, okay, growth, change.
Mhm.
It's okay to change.
It is. You will want to change anyway to elevate and evolve. You will want to.
Yeah. Yes, it's here to happen. So when you look out into society, for you that all that watch the news and stuff like that, you're seeing all of this take place and you just don't know what you're looking at
Right.
because you're trying to make logical sense of what's going on around you, but you don't have the information to support your logic. So is it truly logic? You have to have information to support what it is that you're looking at. So when you look out there and you see all this one person has pulled down this or stopped this or done that, when you understand Uranus and you understand the planets, you'll look up and you'll be like, oh, okay, I understand. I don't need to take this serious. I'm going to keep going because everything always works out for you. We wake up again until we don't. And even not waking up and leaving this life for what it is a new door open to what it is that we're supposed to go back and reflect on, to understand that we might come back and do a whole nother life. And if you don't set yourself up now with the right wisdom and knowledge, then your next life could mirror this life on a hard level.
I don't think you want that because you got to clear up karma from this life, and then whatever karma you got over there.
Yeah. Yeah. So really start diving deep. Numerology gives you the understanding of the numbers, okay? When you delve into numerology, you'll understand what the 9 year is or what the 9 life path is. And then you can go into all the other numbers because there is a supporting number for everything.
Yeah.
How do you find your life path number? Just take your birthday, each number from the month to the date to the year, add them all up, and then you'll get a number. If you get two numbers that are not a number 11, a 22, or 33, then you're going to take and add those two numbers together to get an infinite number. And yes, there are a lot of books out there on numerology. Find you a good source of superficial information just to get your mind running in that direction. And then you can go and get more dynamic information. I say start with the superficial because some people only need a superficial level of information to get a good grasp of what it is they're looking at, and then they'll start to move down the rabbit hole. Um, but these are all things that we see reflect in our lives. You see it, you don't know what you're looking at.
Mm-hmm. You're right about that, sis. And that book, as you talked about, this one is very, very good. He breaks it very down, very clear and precise. So it's really good. And he teaches you about
What's
finding,
his name?
his name is Lloyd Strayhorn.
Okay.
And he also has a numerology workbook as well. I have that somewhere where you just work on, breaking down your numerology or astrological aspects or whatnot. You know what I mean? But this is a good book. It will be good for you to start with numerology. He talks about finding, the house, like my house right now, my address is a number 9 house. Just so you know, so stuff like that, numerology comes in all aspects, and you can figure out in this number 9 house what it is that I'm supposed to learn. New beginnings and endings in this house. A lot of transformation has happened in this house. So he talks a lot about that in this book. So he's a good numerologist to start with. So I just want to share that.
Also remember the dark and the light of everything. I feel like everything is always good as long as we apply the right measures. There's a dark side and a light side to it all.
Yeah.
But
Puts that,
understand, go ahead.
he puts that in the book too, the
Yep.
dark and light sides of the numbers. So very well knowledgeable. Everything you're saying is like on point. You like pow, oh bullseye right there.
Um, I mean, but I jumped in, so it's funny because astrology has always been something I've always been drawn to. I've always read, just for fun
Yeah,
in the beginning. It was just something to see, does this really tell me who I am? And I would always read it and I would be like, how can a book write somebody's life so definitely? And that was just based off my sun sign.
yeah.
It wasn't based off of all the other signs that I understand now.
A lot of people don't know that those other signs exist, and
I understand.
we're more than just our sun signs. A lot of people don't know that.
But what I would implore people to do, since we're so much water, really check your moon sign and drill in on that and understand what your moon sign shows people because people do see it.
Mhm.
They understand these. We do have personalities that most people can't understand. Aquarius, we're usually considered cold, closed off, detached. But you have to understand, as an Aquarius, we're already high streaming, meaning that we're getting infinite understanding from the universe. And on top of that, when you're misled, you don't understand what's coming in and what's being thrown at you. And at some place, I remember I asked myself, when do we stop pretending? Now, why would somebody ask that question? And I understand now why so long ago I asked that question,
Yeah.
because most of us are programmed to be our parents.
Ooh, say that again, sis. They were what? Programmed to be our parents.
Most of us are programmed to be our parents.
Hmm.
And when I say that because our parents are the ones that first imprint their programming onto us.
Yeah.
And it's the ones who have the really rebellious streaks in them, which is strong Uranus pulls, meaning that maybe Uranus is right along with your sun, but it's not your ruling planet. And you have a strong understanding of society does it this way, but why? We don't always get a good understanding. It's more or less like because that's the way it is.
Right.
But when you look out there, society has so many loopholes, so many nines, meaning that there's so many loose ends that are not cleared up.
Yeah. Very question.
So, yeah, because we're looking at that, it's time for us as people in society to understand that our society movement is not moving in the lights of what we should be moving into.
Mm, Shay sis. I say.
So when you understand these things, then you go from there and you're able to enlighten yourself on you
Okay, come on now.
and see these numbers popping up in you as well as your spiritual aspects because it's going to all start to make sense. Spirituality, along with numerology, along with astrology, on top of quantum physics.
Every time you say quantum physics, I think about that
Quantum leap.
yes, that show.
I used to watch it. Yes,
Think about
yes, quantum leap. Um, but you'll understand that a lot of times we look at TV and a lot of the hidden gems in the movies are there.
it.
But because we don't understand what it is, it's fascinating. Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
But that's just TV.
right.
And not some of these things can happen in our lives, but we have to get back in a cycle with the earth.
Mm,
We've been letting man lead us. And one man can't lead a whole masses of people. There are leaders for each group of people because we all fall under different aspects.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like what, sis?
So no, I'm just it's It's mind-boggling. I ask myself, when do we stop pretending? If you still feel like you're putting on a show for people, then stop.
Yes.
It might be time to really flex your shadow side.
Now get this is what with us saying that, people are gonna make that excuse. Well, that's easier said than done. I gotta, da, 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 they're gonna make
I
those.
agree.
So yeah, so
I
when
agree.
we encounter that, how would we guide a person like that would ask those questions?
The first thing I would tell you is stop selling yourself short for that you know you're selling yourself short for. If you feel like the job that you're working in no longer serves you, but you know you can't quit your job because you got bills, you go out there, you start searching for other avenues. Educate. It starts at the money level for most people, but look at where you're overspending at.
Mm-hmm.
I usually take the time to go back and say, okay, when I first ran into grounding, does grounding make sense to me? I'm a very logical person. So there was a time when humans walked without shoes on. We were completely connected to the earth. There was a time where we walked with leaves and stuff tied to our bodies that's still energetic from the earth. The earth housed, clothed, and fed us. And now we've become a population of people who is reliant on others versus solely relying on self.
Mm-hmm.
So, what did we do before there were grocery stores? We didn't starve.
We grew our own.
Because if we did, the human population wouldn't be here. We didn't eat as much meat source. You ate those things that were conducive to your area that you lived in. And then man came in and started being able to manipulate and do things to pull us away from what we should be connected to as humans.
Sure.
So when you're reflecting on you, reflect all the way back to what makes logical sense and then go find supporting evidence. But don't be scared to go out there and read other texts. People who read the Bible should definitely read the Quran. People who read the Quran should definitely read the Bible. You should read the Torah, the Bhagavad Gita. You should read these things to expand the mind to see that all mankind says the same thing with different words. That's why I say sis should not have to apologize for what she says. If you're confused, go look it up.
I love
For
that.
and I'm not being funny and I'm not trying to be um condescending or anything. What I'm saying is that we've let somebody tell us right from wrong, but we look at those people and they're also doing wrong things.
Mm-hmm.
Each one of us has a different internal factor inside of us called morals. Some of us have a Saturn placement in our morals where we set the bar really high. And then some of us don't have that moral understanding at all. But when we ask ourselves, am I pretending or am I being true to myself in this moment? Then you'll get clarity. I'm pretending. So when do I stop pretending and be myself? That's this year. It's take this time to ask yourself, what about me?
Yeah.
Not what on the outside of me needs to
Yeah.
transform, but what on the inside of me needs to transform so that I can see what's inside of me start to reflect what's on the outside of me.
And sis, when I used to work those 9 to 5 jobs and I would talk to coworkers, you can see and hear passion inside them igniting, but because of the environment they're consumed with their work, it's just like, oh, they feel trapped, they feel stuck, and it's due to them being comfortable with where they are, and they're fearful of what is going to happen if I leave. In that aspect, we have to get that mindset out of our heads. It's okay to have that thought because it will happen. We all done it, but we have to trust. Do you really trust yourself that you're going to get everything that you need, want, and desire? If so, you know, be comfortable with being uncomfortable, if that's the sense. Because a lot of people are very uncomfortable and they're scared. So I definitely see why that they're sticking around.
Comfort. You said
Yeah.
the right word, comfortable. I remember telling somebody that they needed to be comfortable where they are because they're where they're at in the point of time that they're supposed to be there.
Mhm.
And I got some lashback for it because I don't want to be comfortable in this situation. I get it. But until you find a solution, you have to tell yourself everything is working out for me. I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
Right.
Give yourself the time to start to sit back and get comfortable,
Mm.
not too comfortable to the point where you don't move, but
Yeah.
to the point where you're so comfortable, you're uncomfortable being comfortable. And then you start pushing yourself in a different aspect of your life.
Yes. Yes. And sis, when what you call it, you know how people go through those hardships. I don't necessarily call them hardships anymore. It's like I'm like, yes, you can. So that means now I'm about to transform. So I embrace it now because I'm like, okay, I know what this is. I know what to expect on the other side. I'm not afraid of it. I'm embracing it. And when I embrace it, I get nothing but an overflow of abundance where whether it is and abundance don't have to be money. It's not always paper and coins. It could be abundance of joy, a love, knowledge, wisdom, just having conversation with loved ones and exchanging knowledge. So I find when you embrace that, you will receive that. And whatever you receive, it'll feel good in here. And when it starts to feel good in here, it will project out here.
The most important thing in this life is wisdom and knowledge, although we've put high value on money
Yeah,
because money buys material things.
it's cool.
Money puts us with a roof over our head. Money puts us with flashy looking things.
Yes.
But the wealth is in the wisdom and the knowledge.
Okay.
You can leave your kids an abundance of money and didn't give them the wisdom and the knowledge on what to do with it. And they're going to take that money once you leave this earth and they're going to splurge on all the things that you told them they could not have.
I so
And then that money is no longer in their hands and they have not expanded it or done anything with it. But if you give a person wisdom and knowledge that they can use throughout their lives, you teach your kids how to be financially understood. You teach your kids how to have understanding with what's going on around them instead of always providing money. You provide them with the wisdom and knowledge that, hey, look, maybe depending on a grocery store, excuse me, all the time is not the best thing to do.
mm,
Maybe even if we have just a small patch of land, we can start growing some things and start being creative with what we make out of them to eat so that we'll always have food. You know, when you look at the history, and I'm bringing this up of the front lawn and how it's got to be beautifully cut and the grass has to be low and this, and where's the food? Even in the Bible, it said that God created the earth to bring forth for man who is supposed to govern over the earth. And that means take care of it, understand it, not just take away from it, but provide for it. And we let society tell us, you rely on us, and we're going to always make sure you have.
mhm.
But at the same time,
They
if the
compete.
person telling you these things don't know thyself, they're selling you beautiful dreams that'll never happen. We've seen it over and over and over again.
And you up there lying for breadcrumbs. That's it.
Yes,
That's
yes,
I like
yes,
that.
yes. Over $1 that says "In God We Trust," but do you really?
That facial expression, sis.
I'm serious. Do
I
you really?
know. Yeah.
We flock to what
I-
society says
mm,
and we miss what the universe is giving us. The universe gives us the year of the nine to clear out 8 stagnant years, or they could be 8 great years, but something stagnant in it that needs to go.
yeah.
And you're holding on to it for what?
Yeah. Now, it was a question I had to ask. Oh man, it just left my mind. It was about the year nine. Crap, it just left my mind. Oh my God.
So,
Oh,
what this year have you transformed up to this point, or do you see that's supposed to transform or go for next year?
Well, for me, I definitely done a lot of transforming, and I don't even know where to begin. It's so much within and without people pointing it out to me, and I have to go back because I don't be paying attention. I look at my pictures and I like, okay, I can feel the difference, but I will say my biggest thing was my connection with food. And I say this a lot because when I was in my darkest era, food was such a comfort for me. I didn't necessarily have somebody to like confide into. This is my dark days, okay? My dark self. So food was that. And now I see myself from then to now with food. I definitely have transformed that. I don't have a attachment to it now. I can be like, oh, I'm good on that. I can go a whole day without even thinking about it. And I'm very proud of myself for that because, man, a lot of people are addicted to food and people don't realize that is addiction too, as well. So I wanted to take care of that for myself so I don't bring that next year.
Very good. I
Thank you.
like that.
Thank you, sis.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Um, so I feel like, in these times, it's very much time for us to be able to move according to who we are.
Mhm.
Um, Mine is a little bit deeper, so I'm not going to share at this moment because we still have some time and I'm still reflecting and looking. But I change daily on the person I am, on the things that I choose to say or do. Right now, I'm in Arkansas. Yeah, I believe I'm in Arkansas now. Oh, okay, so on our live, I was in Louisiana. I was in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and now I'm in some little town in Arkansas. I think I'm in Blytheville, and I'll be on the move again in a couple days. This is my Gemini. It moves quickly. It's also my Jupiter because it's in Gemini, and it's also a retrograded planet in my birth chart. So the energy moves quick. I'll pick up and move, and I go back. I'll be back home shortly when time permits. But
You
um,
what you need, sis.
I am learning to be me. What I've noticed is that I'm a over nurturer in certain situations to the point where it
It can be hindering at times.
yes.
Yeah.
And so what I'm learning now is to release some of that
Yeah.
and understand that it's okay for me to let people just be who they are. If you don't want me to worry about you and you make that very clear, then I'm not going to worry about you then.
There you
I
go.
can't stop the life death process.
Ashe.
And I think a lot of times we become over nurturers because that's what we're doing.
Ashe.
And in my retrospect, I understand both life and death. And I can't stop what's not prevalent in my life, meaning that it has to be me. It
Yeah.
can't be anybody else. I have no control over them. And so I'm clearing up some understandings. I'm reevaluating how I want them to look from this point on. And I'm drawing up a new blueprint for myself to tell myself that this is what I'm going to follow. And we're going to see how this serves a purpose in my coming from this life into the next life. So overthinking is something that we as air signs tend to do. And I tend not to do it for other people's lives.
There you go. And you can't do that, And I want to put this out there, family, what sis is sharing right here. I want to let you guys know that is completely normal when it comes to transitioning and releasing and, moving on to the next steps in your life. And in those moments, those can be the hardest moments at time for some.
Yes.
I want to let you guys know if you're in this period right now, please be gentle with yourself. There's a lot
Yes.
of people who are not gentle with themselves in this moment. So please be gentle with yourself.
Self-talk is a reprogramming mechanism that we have to go through on a daily basis.
Hmm.
It's a transformative mechanism that we can transform every day. When your mind is talking to you, pay close attention to what it's telling you. So it's in those energetic moments where, say you work at like a fast food restaurant, you have somebody in front of you
Mhm.
and they have this energy, this really negative energy. You can feel it when you come up
Yeah.
and you feed into that negative energy, but that energy is not yours. When you feed into that negative energy and they're blah, blah, blahing and putting all their judgment on you, before you spew back, ask yourself, is what they're saying true? And I say that because sometimes you find they are true and you just get offended because they shouldn't call you out.
Yeah.
A lot, and then in other instances, they might not be true. They might be you might be mirroring back to them what they need to see for themselves.
Mhm.
It's no need to stoop to their level. It is a very big need at that point to flex conscious, positive thought for yourself. That's not me. And they're not going to want to hear you say that. And it's okay. You just have to know that's not me. I'm not going to internalize this or take this in. If it is you, don't lose accountability for saying, you know what, you are right. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning feeling indifferent with myself, and I brought that to work.
Yeah. Accountability is a hard pill to swallow, sis.
Yeah. Ooh.
That's a word that's hard pill to swallow.
We take it better if we do it to ourselves than if other people do it to us. Because when somebody calls you out on your stuff, you're going to get mad, defensive, and want to argue about the situation instead of sitting back and saying, is that me? Because most of the time we already know.
Yeah, we definitely know. And I
We
also
already
at times it could also be the delivery too, and everything don't need a response, family.
just laugh,
Yeah,
look at them. And because if they're able to call it out, they woke up on the wrong side of the bed too.
yeah, yeah. They chose violence. They woke up and chose violence. They're like, I'm gonna let you sit in there, but I'll take that in consideration, Babooski. I'm gonna let you
Yeah.
sit
Yeah.
in.
So take this time to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I doing X, Y, and Z? If I'm miserable in this situation, why am I still doing it? Because I noticed that if we're not miserable, we don't move.
Mm,
Or if we said this is just what life looks like, we won't move. But ask yourself how magnificent life could be if I could just make the changes that I need to make and
mm.
start doing that for this year so that you can manifest it for next year. Because next year is the year of the one. That's manifesting. That's bringing
all,
in. That's
all
asking.
all year. I'm gonna be in
Yeah.
what's after Leo? I already know what year I'm gonna be in. I'm in my Leo year right now, so that's my 12th house. So I'm gonna be in my first
Is
house
that your sun moon progression or what?
for my Leo,
Yeah.
for my son. My
You're
son.
in a progress Leo.
Hmm.
How'd you get there so quick from Aquarius?
I'm gonna double check, sis. We'll talk about
Oh,
it. I,
okay. No, I was just asking because I
yeah,
know that I'm in my you would be in your Leo. I'm in my Aries.
yeah.
Um, my progress sun is in Aries. What I'm waiting for is my progress moon to get ready to change.
Ooh, sounds.
And that's coming up very quickly. And I want to see what this change looks like. I understand what it's supposed to look like, but what I'm trying to see is what it's gonna feel like.
Are you excited for change? Do you ever get excited for change? Like knowing all of
I
this
get
stuff,
excited for
and it's
anything.
like now that you understand it, you like, okay, I know that this is coming. I'm ready for this.
So in my planetary aspects and my understanding in my life, I want to be excited, but I more or less brace myself. And
Okay.
I brace myself because I've seen changes in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm not telling people that all change
Is
is bad, but
yeah.
sometimes change can cause you to sit down and
It can humble you, sis. Is that what you're saying?
do more than humble you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm gonna use what one of the ladies that I listen to says. It will bring you to your knees.
Ooh.
Okay. And because I've had an astonishing amount of those moments happen. Right now, I'm just trying to brace myself and put some padding on my knees just in case it does bring me to my knees. In either direction, whether it's something phenomenal, where it's just like, oh my God, thank you so much, or whether it's something changing where it's like, oh my God, what do I need to learn from this?
Yes.
I'm braced, I'm ready for it because I can't stop it and nor would I want to.
Yeah.
But whatever it is going to bring a difference in my life. And so I don't know if I'm excited, but I'm braced.
I love that. I love that because our astrological chart is pretty much just us reading our soul contracts, to be honest.
Yes.
So I find that neat. And then I remember we was talking about it. I said, I like surprises. I know you can look at your astrological chart and you can see it, but sometimes I'm like, you know what? I want to be surprised. Let me be surprised because I could already feel something coming. If I feel it
Right.
coming, I know it's coming. I'm gonna just let it happen and be
Yeah.
surprised. And
Yeah, I mean, you can't stop it. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. You can't stop it. You can fight it, but sometimes I find that fighting it
do
is just
that.
resisting the
There you
energy
go.
that's coming in, and it can cause you more torment
Yes.
than, yeah, it can cause you more inner turmoil than it does anything else. So when it hits you, it's more or less like, okay, what do I need to learn from this? And let's get it at the beginning because you can drag out your low area. The more you dwell on it, the more you resist it, the more you fight it, the more you daunt on it, the longer it lasts. That's why the saying, um, after the rain comes the storm,
Yeah.
because you've drawn out this situation for too long.
Mm-hmm.
If it's money and you're working a 9 to 5, which is 8 hours, then maybe start getting you some education or getting a second job for a small part of time so you can, save up that money or just cut your expenses where you can,
Yeah.
but we get ourselves in over our heads.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't want to downgrade, sis. They don't want to downgrade. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing
It's
wrong.
not. And I can understand that because I look at myself as a person who'd rather live simple and happy than complex and and unhappy or, in discomfort.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have all the money in the world, you can have this big, great house, and but then what else is there
Feel
for
right
you to
here.
work forward to?
Yeah. How do you feel and hear about all of that?
Yes,
Like that,
yes,
that what's really matters to me right there. That's more.
yes. And it's funny because I look at that as love. I'd rather have love. I'd rather be in a place of love and understanding than have to worry about money and bills.
And peace too, sis. Having that solitude peace. Oh my God, living with
Yeah.
myself and making my environment the environment that I choose. My
Yes.
home is a place where you have to heal. That's how I set it up. If you're not willing to heal, this ain't the place for you. That's just my home. That's how I set it up. And it's very peaceful. Peace. Money can't buy you peace or love. I'm sorry. The authenticity, you can't buy that, man.
Would I be willing to sell my peace for somebody who is energetically and mentally on my level? I would, because you learn from those around you. And if this person can teach me something, unconditional love, I'd rather have that than have anything else.
Yeah,
If
sure.
I can sit and talk to you, explain to you who I am, and you take it for that with no judgment, no prior notions of or inconceived notions about who I am,
Mhm.
would I be willing to build a new structure around that and tell people that unconditional love is you just letting somebody else be who they are with no
Oh, right.
infringement on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people do put stuff on that on relationships too.
Yeah. And so that's exactly why I said we become our parents first. And then when we sit and we realize that's not me, that's not who I want to be, I don't like the way this feels inside of me, then
Right,
we start to make those changes. So
right.
with me, it was just When do we stop pretending? When do we stop sweeping stuff under the rug and acting like it didn't happen? When do we start actually addressing the elephant in the room?
Yeah,
And if those criteria can't happen and we keep sweeping things under the rug, we get ourselves in these situations that we see now with society. If you look at some of your older love relationships around you, not everybody in our community, meaning the African Americans, get to see intense, true love without some type of fight or strife over money or something, material things. Let the materials go. They
yeah.
only make you broke. If it's not a definite necessity, clothes, you could wear the same clothes until they fall apart, and then you can repurpose them and learn how to stretch your money, because our society, it's time for the nine to take place in it.
Definitely is. And when you said that, it reminded me of this picture I posted on my story. It has two different guys there on the bus. One dude, he kept all it in inside, whatever he was feeling, he's feeling miserable. And you see how the trees and everything on his side, they look all black and gloomy. But the dude, it says, this guy, he cussed him the F out. And he's all happy and taking pictures and the sun is shining. So I thought about that picture and I wanted to share that. And it brings me to this little color project that I was talking about earlier. When now that we discussed the energy of the number nine, what color does that energy resonate with you? And this is something fun that I do for myself as well. I wanted to share it with you. Like red, passion, strength, vitality, courage, life force. And it's the element of fire and it's the root chakra. Green, abundance, growth, renewal, harmony, balance, and it's the element of earth and your heart chakra. Blue, peace, healing, truth, tranquility, inner wisdom, and your throat chakra, as well as the water element. You got yellow, joy, clarity, optimism, success, intellect, your solar plex, as well as fire and air element. That could work for both fire and air. Purple and violet, your psychic powers, your spiritual insight, wisdom, higher consciousness, magic, and that would be your crown chakra. Orange, creativity, celebration, enthusiasm, balance between earthly and heavenly realms, and your sacral chakra as well. So now that I listed these out, you can also Google these yourself and look at other colors because you got other colors, turquoise, black, brown, however you feeling. What is this energy of the number nine resonate with you when it comes to color? And I like to do this because it's a form of color magic where you can wear the color that you are feeling with this energy and make that energy vibrate more for you. So I want to put that out there as a journal prompt project is what I want to call it. And I do have two other journal prompts as well. The color one is the first one. The second one with the list of information that me and Sis have been talking about with you guys. What are you releasing? What are you doing without next year? What are you transforming into? So ask yourself these questions in your journal prompt and see how life has changed for you, what transformation looked like for you, and what do you want for your futures? Plant those seeds, like Sis said. And another thing, what are your goals for your personal and spiritual growth do you have for self for the cycles that are to come? Like Sis said, with all the cycles that are to come, what are your goals for not just your spiritual self, but your personal self as well? So those are my journal prompts, Sis.
Take the time to reflect on your why. Why are you doing this? Why is it necessary for you to do this? And you need to come up with your own conclusion. Also understand the any dis-ease in the body has something to do with internal turmoil or energy that you're harboring. You should definitely take the time to look into any of those, and we'll reflect on those more as our videos keep going on, so people can understand that we harbor a lot of this inside when it to release it just takes time to ask the question to ourselves and getting our own internal answers. It's not about us sitting here telling you what to do and how to do it in a precise manner. It's us giving you the tools and the keys to understand these are the things that you should be asking yourself, and then getting the information that is conducive for you, because not everything that works for me is going to work for sis, and not everything that works for sis is going to work for me. Our planetary placements are still very different, and we're going to do things very differently. You have to remind yourself of that too. We're not supposed to all be walking in one straight line with our hands held in one way, and we're not all supposed to look the same. With this understanding in mind, love yourself. Give yourself all the hardships that you need, the Saturn placements, all the stern, strict guidance that you need, because you know where you need it better than anybody. And then be understanding to on yourself as well when you slip, because we all make one step back to take another two steps forward. So when you access that low vibrational energy and you come across that person that makes you snap, understand that, okay, yes, I snapped.
Yeah.
Why did I snap? And how can I chastise myself in an understanding situation or understanding moment so that it doesn't happen again? How can I be the best version of myself?
Ashe family, I love this segment that we had this rising, and we coming to you and sharing this love with you. May that everything that we shared with you help you on your journey. Always reach out to us if you have some more topics you would like for us to discuss. Until then, family, thank you for being with us. May you find your life and fix your crown, family. Peace. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more conscious talk.